Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Lazell. I'm the business website director at Healy Consultants Group, and I'm based in Singapore. I have with me this morning Elmira Sarbudeen. She's an accounting and tax associate. She's also based in our Singapore office. Good morning, Elmira.
Good morning, Mark. Nice to speak with you.
And to you too, Elmira. Thank you for joining us. Elmira, you've been with the firm now for more than a year, and I know that you did a video with us earlier about a year ago. This is another podcast. We're gathered here today to discuss, I think, an engagement you have been working on relating to Singapore. So if you don't mind, Elmira, can you give us a few details about the client, what sort of business they were in, and what the client's legal, accounting and tax obligations were, and how did we help them?
Okay, so this client actually is an investment holding company in Singapore.
Okay.
So currently they are providing financial support to companies involved in child healthcare in China. So basically, with regards to accounting and tax obligations, this company actually has been dormant during the financial period ending 2020.
Okay.
And we are required to complete dormant accounting and tax obligations, as well as provide the filing of annual returns and tax declarations.
Okay. All right. Very, very good. And so can you just give me a little bit of a rundown as to how the engagement panned out? Presumably, was the client required to provide us with any documentation, any numbers? What was the procedure? What was the process?
Okay, so we actually requested from the client proof of dormancy, because if the client says that they are dormant and has no business activities, we need to ensure and verify the same before we proceed with our work. So we have requested for proof of dormancy, such as their bank statements or their trial balance, and basically a breakdown of all their expenses that they have incurred, or their expenses and liabilities. So they have provided us with the same, and once we have verified that it's dormant, we proceeded to prepare the financial statements based on the information received, and it went through reviews both by our management as well as the client. And as soon as we got their approval, they signed off the financial statements, and we could submit the same together with the annual returns. And yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Elmira. I presume when you say that it went through a review process from our management, I assume that's for quality control purposes. Is that correct?
Definitely. Yep, that's right.
Okay, very good. Yep, please carry on.
Yep. So considering that this client was dormant, we were also required to file a waiver of tax returns. So the reason we do so is so that we are not required to file tax on an annual basis as long as the client remains dormant. And it also reduces the obligations, the legal obligations of both the client as well as Healy Consultants. And so we proceeded to file the waiver, and the waiver was also approved because the client was dormant during the period. But at any point of time, if the client resumes their business, we are required to inform the tax authorities and file the taxes accordingly.
Okay, very good. What sort of time frame are we talking about, Elmira? You know, you've described in nice detail the actual procedure. What sort of total time frame do we talk about here?
For this particular engagement, we actually completed the same within half a year.
Okay.
It was fairly straightforward because the client was cooperative. They provided us with the details that we requested in the shortest possible time. And on our end, we also didn't hold back for very long. So we proceeded to complete all the documents and all the filings. So we completed the entire engagement within half a year.
Very good. You've painted a very positive picture, that it was straightforward. Were there any particular challenges on this engagement? Did you encounter any challenges that required you to think outside the box to look for workaround solutions, or was it really as straightforward as you're saying?
Okay, so for this case, for this particular client, they actually, even though they were dormant, they had a huge amount of balances in their assets, in terms of receivables and cash. So we actually had to verify them to ensure that these amounts are legit, that they are accurate, and they are not falsified figures at this point. So this is something that was very particular, a bit different to this client. While the rest of the processes were straightforward, we definitely had to verify and ensure that these figures were accurate before we put them in our financial statements.
Sure. Very good, Elmira. So any takeaways, any learnings for you from this engagement for a dormant company?
My biggest takeaway for this engagement would be that even though a company is dormant, it's not necessarily, while the procedures and the steps are the same, we also have to take precaution on our part to ensure that not only are the figures given to us accurate, but they also have to make sense, and they also have to exist, and they're not fictional in that sense. So on our end, we also have to ensure that we do proper due diligence and proper verification before we proceed with an engagement.
Okay, very, very good. Elmira, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you for talking to us briefly about this Singapore engagement. And we look forward to hearing from you on other interesting engagements over the next weeks and months.
Sure, no problem. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks for your time, Elmira. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.